Creating a system is an important step of writing and publishing a book in 90 days. And let's hear all about it. Most people do not include a system in their book, and they're missing out big time.
Yes? Wow. So what is important about have a system? Do you think that it's a vehicle when people can move from A to B? What is this system?
A system is a process that you follow in order to give your audience the solution. And this system is typically a series of steps, such as 1 to 5 or 1 to 7 or A to D or whatever it is. And those steps need to be formulated as a blueprint, a method, a system of some kind, so that people that read your book have a structured way to get from A to Z.
Yeah, and then this system, the way, like for example, there are famous systems like the pyramid of Maslow, that when you talk about that, the brain is see a pyramid or the 7 habits of highly effective people, that system that is very well designed. So how important is, I think that the human beings, they are more visual, and when they see a design system, they can assume that this is a whole pattern. It's gonna be the whole vehicle that actually can help them to move from A to B, right? It's like a blueprint.
Yes, so this system has to be super structured, and it becomes the meat in a way, the meat or the skeleton for the book, right? Because every book needs to have a way for the audience to get the answer to what they were looking for. And I think a lot of books have a very unstructured answer to that solution. And by having a system, first you have like a graphic overview of what the solution is, and then you break that down into the different chapters. So every single chapter can be a part of that system.
So basically, you will write the book around that system. This system actually becomes the asset from the book, because it's that system later on can deliver workshops. Like for example, in my case, speakers and leaders, I don't do a workshop about my book. I do a workshop about the system that is inside the book. Is that correct?
Yeah, so for example, Robert Kiyosaki and Stephen Covey with his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, they have created systems that have been leveraged not only to sell millions of books, but also to do corporate workshops that have perhaps given them a lot more money as well.
Than the book itself, right?
Than the book itself. And that system becomes like an asset, because it can be turned into so much more. It can be turned into a workshop content, into one-to-one coaching content, into a TEDx talk content, an online course content, and so much more. So to create an effective system, there are so many different ways to do it. But one way to do it is, for example, to write one word for each part of the system. And then you create a graphic around that. Another way to do it is
because like that become more memorable, right?
Yes, because like that you become a lot more memorable. Another way to do it is to create an acronym from the first letter of every single step. Another way is to create some images that are accompanied by a certain word for each part of the process. And then you create like a graphic that is ideally in line with the brand that you're trying to create. And this system is essential, because if you don't create a system, what happens is that your readers are lost about that process that you have. And if you don't have a process, then you are going to be forgotten much faster.
Yeah, and then that system, for example, for me has been a very valuable asset, because the book Speakers and Leaders have a system inside the Amistad, and that system is actually the system that I teach in the workshop worldwide. How about subsystem? The possibility that sometimes the books have system and it has subsystem inside, so people can have even more than one workshop inside the same book?
That's a good question. So ideally you can have one major system, and inside it you can have other subsystems as well that could structure the entire content of the book. So for example, for One Life, One List, we have 2 main systems, and each one has 20 and 22 subsystems.
Wow.
So for example, he has like the one life, one list system, and also he has the one life, one list life principles, because basically this book is about a philosophy of life. And it's related to organization and how you can be twice as productive so you can have a freedom lifestyle. And for example, inside that those 2 systems, you have systems such as the luxury minimalism system, where you choose to only invest in luxury products that you're going to use, so that you don't have the false economy of investing in cheap products that fall off and get broken a lot and you have to be replaced a lot. Then he has, for example, the backpack system, which is a system where he organizes the backpack in a certain way so that he would be able to leave the house. And let's say if he was keynote speaking worldwide, he would be able to leave his house in half an hour, because he knows exactly where his passport is in his backpack, where his pen is, where his toothbrush is, where his underwear and other things are, in a way that he would be able to leave within half an hour and have everything sorted for his trip, right? So in like that, he has several other systems.
So to sum up in how to write the book in 90 days, it's very important to decide the system, a pattern, a type of blueprint that will help you to move from A to B, and thus become the core of the book. And then the next step would be write the book around that system, right?
Yes. And for example, this works really well for all sorts of fields, even if it's property or fitness or health, or any sort of field can have a system that will structure the thoughts of the author into a process that their audience can learn from.